Hello, welcome to the stream. Big ups to everyone that's tuning in. I believe we've got MCFR and this is Umer. No, this is Sissy and Umer, not this is Umer. Big ups to everyone who's tuning in. A lot of comments to read, a lot of questions have been asked. I will quickly let you guys see my player rating so that you can actually see what is what. So, people trying to spin this, the harsh reality was, the harsh reality is that was disgusting. What annoys me is we suddenly decided to turn it on in the 85th minute. Big up Umer. I've got some people telling me we deserved something. When your goalkeeper is man of the match, you know something is wrong. Yep. Connect, what would you say the first goal of that game is? We dropped the level last season. We dropped another this season. The harsh reality is, if it wasn't for Brentford, if it wasn't for Edison, Brentford and Fulham would have been losses. Hard's worst game in a City shirt. Thoughts. A joke. Now we're dropping points to losses on the bounce as well. So, yeah, that was a disaster to say the very minimum. We were not good. Let's get that right. We did not play well. The vast majority of the players that played minutes were poor/bad, to say the very least. Yeah, it was not a good display whatsoever. Now then, this is the first point, okay, that I want to bring up, and also this. These 2 points are good bits to talk about. The worst thing is that it's not just that we played bad, yeah. It's the fact that we started playing good in the 85th minute. How come it took getting a goal to give us a bit of life? I know that might sound silly, yeah. But how come that's what we needed to get us actually moving again? Because after the 85th minute, we started pumping Bournemouth with shots. We may have had 4 shots on target that game, but bear in mind we didn't have a shot on target until the 80th minute. It was a poor game to say the bare minimum. Before Vardio's goal, we were abhorrent. We wasted every half a chance we got. We have to start scoring half a chances. It's good and all Erling Haaland taking every one-on-one shot he gets in on goal, and it's good and all. Voice crack. And it's good and all when he scores the occasional wonder goal like he did midweek in the Champions League, like a week ago. Big up, Kyle. Welcome to the chat. Fine. It's good and all that you take those, but we need to take half the chances. Teams are going to make it difficult for you. Bournemouth made it difficult for us. They were absolutely brilliant. None of their players played badly. They all played well. Travers, their keeper, when called upon, was absolutely brilliant. He made some great saves. The header is unsavable for me. I think Vardio has gotten a really good header there. It was really good from Bournemouth, and they absolutely deserved the full 3 points. There was no way they didn't. And look, if we had played how we did from Vardio's goal onwards for the entire match, then yeah, I'd say we deserved something. But we did that for like the last 10 minutes. Like 10, 15 minutes tops is how long we did that. We were not good, okay? Up until that point, we had about as much creativity as a turtle would trying to play football, all right? No offense to turtles. Like, we had nothing. We felt lost. The best we could do was knock it around. Sure, we had all the possession, but Bournemouth don't care when they're 2-0 up and they've made the best chances. They won't give to. Bournemouth made so many opportunities as well. You asked me a question here. What would I say the first score was? Mate, Bournemouth had ridiculous chances. I remember a part when Semenyo, who was stunning, absolutely rinsed Walker, absolutely rinsed Nunes. For some reason he passed it back. He should have just shot. He had an unbelievable chance and it would have been one of the goals of the month. It was brilliant from him. For some reason he passes it back. They easily could have had 4 or 5 if it wasn't for our man of the match, Ederson. He was absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. He was so good, Ederson. You know, I've got no complaints for him. Everyone else, the subs, I probably don't, to be honest, but everyone else, I absolutely do have complaints. And especially with Walker, and not just because of his performance. Haaland worst game in the City shirt. I'm sorry, yeah. Like, this guy's got to start taking the difficult chances. I know he scores difficult goals. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that Haaland only scores the tap-ins or he only scores the goals where he's in one-on-one. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that. But he's got to start scoring those chances that maybe aren't as much in his favour. Like the one that just goes past the post. Okay? He's got to start scoring those a little bit more. Getting one more of those every game, every couple of games, can change a game and maybe even change a season to an extent. It can be absolutely crucial to your season. He needs to start scoring more of them. I'm not saying he doesn't score full stop, but we need more. Again, we need more goals. You know, Haaland has scored most of our goals this season. Fair play to him. But the fact that, like, a left back is our second highest top goal scorer, I love Vardio and credit to him. But, like, the fact that he is the only one that even comes anywhere close is just mental. You know, I need Phil Foden to start scoring league goals and not goals against them Champions League teams that we're thrashing. I need goals in big games. I need goals from my big players in difficult away matches. Anyways, though, let's see what I got here. Sorry, Walker again on there. No idea why I started this game. Held Drew to bottom of the league. Oh, unlucky. Bournemouth should have been 4-0 up. Like, genuinely, I'm not exaggerating. Do you agree? It was I'm surprised they did not score more. It's safe to say Gundogan isn't going very good, is it? I'm hoping he just turns good. Hopefully, end of the season, you know, he does brilliant. Bernardo ghost. Also Foden till 80th minute. Worst game in the City shirt. Anyway, let's start actually going for the player ratings. Ederson, an 8. I can't fault him. He was absolutely brilliant. You know, the 2 goals, I don't think he can do anything better on. I think they're both really well done. I think Vardio could probably defend a little better on the first one on Semenyo. The fact that Semenyo gets 2 touches in our 6-yard box is crazy. You know, I don't think he can do anything there, Eddie. It's not his thing. And Evan Nilsson, there's no way Ederson can get that. Ederson just has to hope that Evan Nilsson is playing that very close to him. But no, Evan Nilsson does brilliant, completely redirects it, gives Ederson no time to get down, and it just goes past him. Ederson can't even get a dive in before it's rolled into the back of the net. Edison, an easy 8 out of 10. The only reason he's not is because, look, it might sound unfair, but we have conceded goals, and I have to, even if it's the tiniest bit, I have to put a tiny bit of it on the goalkeeper. But honestly, I've got no complaints with him. His distribution, I thought, was really good. You know, at one point, he almost got a ball through to Haaland. I thought every pass was almost bang on. Early on, I thought he did misplace a couple, but like the rest of the game, I thought he was just stunning. Walker, 4. You know what's funny about this one? Number 1, he shouldn't have started over Rico Lewis. Number 2, this guy was so clearly unfit. It's crazy. Walker was so clearly unfit for this game. I don't know why he started. He clearly hasn't trained much. You know, it's so that just looks like a Kyle Walker that hasn't been training because he's injured. Or something like that. You know, there's no way that guy's been playing in training every time on the training ground. That guy was slipping over more than Steven Gerrard did on the final day of the Premier League season 10 years ago. Semenyo beat him so many times. The main thing about Kyle Walker is meant to be his pace. I say this a lot. Kyle Walker said in an interview a couple of years ago that his main superpower is his pace. You know, the whole squad's got superpowers, yeah. And he says his is his pace. If he's not keeping up with Adama Traore anymore, if he's not keeping up with with Semenyo anymore, and he's stepping on his bum. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when he plays against Kylian Mbappe in the Champions League quarterfinals? He's going to get absolutely rinsed. Mbappe's 25. He might only get quicker. Kyle Walker is only getting older, and he should not have started this game. He's clearly still getting back from an injury. If anything, this guy should have came on to help finish off the game, just to calm it down if we were potentially winning. Rico Lewis definitely should have started this game, not because of his pace, obviously not, but because of the control he brings on the ball. I thought Walker had a couple of okay moments, and that was it. Walker, as the legend said, it's time to go. The centre-back partnership, Ake and Akanji, I just thought they looked a bit uninspiring. I don't think they looked extremely confident. The fact that Bournemouth had all the chances they did has to come down to them to an extent. There's no way that doesn't come down to them in some shape or form. Some chances maybe they had no control of, but Evan Nilsson getting into such a good spot like he did. The fact that no one was able to intercept Kirkaz's ball, I think that's partly on Foden, by the way. Foden's got to do better. Kirkaz was having a great time in that first half against him. Akanji and Ake, they have to take a bit of responsibility. I give them a 5.5 each. So they just didn't, I don't know, they didn't look very confident for me. Vardio, partly saved because he got a goal. That's why he's got a 6.5. If it wasn't for that, maybe he's got a 6 or a 5, or 5.5. Defensively, I thought he was all right for most of it. I think the first goal, he's got to do a bit better. Semenyo should not be able to get 2 touches off in our 6-yard box and be able to do a 180 turn. I think that's kind of a joke. I think Vardio's got to defend that a bit better. That shouldn't happen. That sounds ridiculous in my head. Walker, we gave it our all. I swear I saw Walker jogging back at one point. After he fell on his bum, and Semenyo had a shot deflected, you can just see Walker in the replay jogging back. He doesn't get back for the shot. It's crazy. He should have got up and gone back to defend so much quicker. He's the captain. He needs to put in the extra mile. He needs to lead by example. We gave it our all. You're making excuses. Address how bad we were, Address how this was just a severe off day, a severely bad day for you lot, for us lot. For most of the counter-attacks, Walker wasn't on the screen. Exactly. Walker couldn't keep up. His superpower is his speed, but clearly he's losing it, and it's getting worse every season. He's only getting older, and the older he gets, the quicker he will lose his speed. It's funny, actually. The older he's getting, the quicker he's losing it. And eventually, he's going to, well, you could argue it's already here. You could argue that he's going to become more of a curse to us more of a nuisance to us than something of value that we used to 3 years ago. I know the stream's really good. It's a really good website. Big ups to, didn't you say Chelsea founder it? Yeah, big ups to that guy, and big ups for telling me. On to the midfield 3. I might as well just cover this all together. Gundogan, by the way, is saved by the fact he got an assist. He'd be much more closer to Bernardo Kovacic if it wasn't for that ball. These 3 are incompatible, I think is the perfect word. They're incompatible. Kovacic is a good dribbler on the ball, and all that. They just can't work together. And I know it's a difficult spot with our injuries, but we have to try something else. Get Matheus Nunes back in the midfield if you have to. Play Phil Foden a bit lower if you have to. You have to try something else after this stinker of a performance. Our midfield was so disjointed. It was crazy. Bournemouth's midfield had an absolute field day with us. Our midfield. We completely lost the midfield battle. And it was just not on. We couldn't do anything. And it got a bit better when Doku came on for Ilkay Gundogan, when the midfield changed a little bit. I'm not saying Ilkay Gundogan's why that midfield was bad, but I'm saying that those 3 just can't do it together. Maybe 2 of them can, but the 3 of them definitely cannot. I know. Those three cannot play together again. Fair play to Ilkay Gundogan on the ball into Vardio. It was a good ball. Credit where credit's due. It's a good ball into Vardio. Okay. Where was a bit more of that, by the way? Not just from Gundo, but from the whole midfielders. Where was a bit more of our creativity? Wait, yeah, that's the biggest criticism of this game. We actually created nothing for most of it. We first shot on target in the 80th minute, and you might think, oh, we had 6 shots before that, and they just got blocked. They were barely shots. Haaland had a decent chance, and so did Foden. Bernardo had a good chance, and it was a good block. The other 3 shots were just wild hits with hope. All 3 of them will start together against Sporting. And I bet you what as well. I bet you something now as well. I bet you they do well. Okay? I bet you they somehow turn up and then they get trusted in another big game. And then they get trusted in another big game and then we have another stinker with them. Foden, 5.5. It's difficult to defend him. To be honest, his corners, this guy should clearly be our main corner taker, by the way. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I think he's pretty good on corners. I'm very confident with Phil Foden on a corner for City. But anyway, beyond that, again, last 10 minutes he turned it up a bit, but before that, it just wasn't good. It was just poor, to say the least. Like everyone, it's not Phil Foden. It's not a Phil Foden thing. It's not a Walker thing. It was just poor from Phil Foden. I thought that he was maybe slightly better than most of our midfielders. Bernardo, last good game. Couldn't care if he leaves in the summer. Thanks for your incredible games for us over the years there. Yeah, Bernardo's an interesting one. He really is. Look, I trust Phil Foden can get back to his best. Okay, I do, because again, Phil Foden this time last season didn't have many goal contributions. Okay, the following year is when everything really changed. The second half of the season, he really started to cook. Not to say it was bad in this half, but that's when he really cranked it up. We could use a bit of that, though, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, 5.5 today. I thought he was potentially okay at best. He had a big chance early in the second half, which can make it 1-1 before Bournemouth get their goal, and then maybe we can go and make something happen. Núñez sets him up with a really good ball. He needs to score that chance. He at least needs to get it on target and keep the ball with us. But that's exactly what he didn't do. It just drags wide. He almost scored near the end. It was a good shot. It just goes wide the post. Eventually, I'm sure those will start to go in once his sharpness is completely back. But yeah, Foden, sooner the better that he's back, because we need someone else to really start getting goals. Haaland worst game in a City shirt. How didn't he score at the end? That was crazy. In the added time, I don't know how he didn't score there. That was crazy. Absolutely mental. That game should have ended 2-2 with that chance at the end. That's not to say we deserved it, but it should have ended there. Ended 2-2 there. Chelsea 1-1 was his worst game. He absolutely had awful misses. Honestly, I'd put KDB on. A half-fit KDB would have been better. For me, he didn't participate in the pre-match training. He had no warm-ups at all, and I didn't see him in any training photos either. I'm pretty sure KDB was only here as almost as a scare factor. I don't think KDB had the slightest chance of coming on today, is my personal opinion. I think KDB was on the bench to almost give assurance, almost reassure fans that the injury situation isn't that bad. KDB is on the bench. He's almost back. Savinho's on the bench. He's going to play. He can maybe get some minutes in. Doku's back. Kyle Walker's traveling. Before today, who was not in the squad for this game? Diaz, Bob, Rodri, obviously. Those 3. we had 5 players back today. I guarantee you not all of them were fit. And, fair enough to the players that did play, by the way, injured. I'm convinced we had, I'm convinced Walker was injured going into that game. Walker was so bad. He did not look half the player that he has been in previous games this season. The fixtures after break, Spurs home, then Anfield time. We need to win Spurs home. Morale's got to be high. We have to win that. And plus, we can't afford to drop more points. My worry is these are the easier fixtures. Yeah, Bournemouth away. It is a difficult one. 2-1 versus Bournemouth. Hey, don't diss Bournemouth, man. Bournemouth beat Arsenal 2-0 last week, I'd like to mention. Bournemouth are an extremely good team, and I said it in my preview. I think Bournemouth are a really good team. And, I'm pretty sure in my thumbnail I said, we've got to be careful. We've got to win these difficult away games. I know they're tough, but look, we've beaten Bournemouth in every single Premier League game we've played against them, or every single game. It's one of them. Bournemouth created history today. That's how bad our performance was. I know we had a lot of injuries going into this, but we still should have won this. We still had a really good 11 go out. That is a good 11. On paper, that's a really good team. Supposing W. That would be a rough patch, wouldn't it? That'd be equivalent to the rough patch we had last season. Moving on, Nunes. I thought Nunes was probably the overall best outfield player. I know I've been giving Nunes a lot of praise recently, and it might sound like I'm just still trying to be on that train. But look, I thought he makes that chance for Phil Foden early in the second half. He makes a good run at one point in the first half. When he puts it across the box, goalkeeper sticks his foot out, Bernardo shoots, shot blocked. He creates that. I thought good chances were made by Nunes. Or the best chances were, anyway, apart from the goal. I was much more impressed with Nunes than literally everyone else. Now that doesn't make it a great performance by him. He still had some errors into his game. He got out-muscled a few times by a few players. At some points, he lost the ball. So this was by no means perfect, but I think he was the best out of the outfield players. I know, that was a good chance. That was a really good chance for Phil Foden. That was a really good chance. And the type that last season, he was burying those every time. He had a few of those last season, Phil Foden, and he buried them every time. He was lethal. Man City going trophyless. And on to Haaland. Look, Haaland played. He played badly. He had a half chance that he missed, and at the end, he needs to get a goal. Haaland's job is to put the ball in the back of the net when we need him to. If we get the ball to him and bury it is his job. We got the ball to him at least twice off the top of my head. At the very bare minimum twice. Didn't score either of them. Did not score either. We needed goals from Erling today. 7-0 v Sporting. I'd love to see that. It's an away day, I'm pretty sure. Onto the bench. Doku, 7. I thought this guy, when he came on, did more than basically any outfield player did the whole game. Actually got a shot off within the time he was on. Was actually good, I thought, Doku, when he came on. So fair play. And a Doku that's probably half fit as well. He was a doubt for this game. I don't think KDB is going to start that game. I'm just going to make that clear. I'm convinced KDB was nowhere near ready for this game. I'm just convinced he wasn't even 1% match fit. That's my honest opinion. I think we're gonna have KDB back for after the international break. That's my honest opinion. Lewis, I thought when he came on, knocking it about, he was quite good. I thought subbing off Ake was probably the best choice. At the time I dissed it, I thought Walker should come off, but I thought he brought a bit more control, Lewis. So fair play. I thought he did decent when he came on. No way he was fit enough to be in the bench. Yeah, I'm convinced he was there to simply scare rival fans, scare Bournemouth. Just bring some sort of maybe fear factor to the game. Because this game was always going to be a struggle with the injuries we had. We are going through a semi-injury crisis right now. It was always going to be a difficult one. No doubt about that. But maybe just having KDB there could bring fear out of opposition sides. But that concludes my player ratings. Look, this game was poor and we need a bounce back. Next game is Sporting. The players have got to show us that Bournemouth was an anomaly. I'm pretty sure Sporting is away from home. Prove that you can win difficult away games. Sporting fans are going to be up for it. KDB away and West Ham away. My days, he was so unlucky not to grab that like a hat trick. He was so good. I remember that. Pretty sure he hit the post at one point. Areola made like an unbelievable save. Yeah, that was so good. We could have put to bed any Arsenal remaining title hopes. I know, this was big. We could have gone 8 points clear. That sounds incredible. 8 points clear of Arsenal, and it would have basically just been us and Liverpool, unless we went through some major slip-ups. And Liverpool almost slipped up today, but they pulled it back, to be fair. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you did enjoy the match review. Bit of a rant, but I had fun with it. We've got to bring it back. Players got to reassure us. There's content on the way. Live watch along, of course, midweek preview on the way too, and probably a watch along tomorrow for Chelsea United. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next one.